Savuti is an area to the east of Mainy and is really part of Chobe National Park. It has to take the prize as the hottest place I've ever been in Africa. Having said that, the nighttime temperatures were some of the coldest I've ever seen in Africa, getting down to maybe 4 or 5 degrees centigrade, meaning we needed extra blankets on the bed. Steenbok were a common sight. They do seem to do well in this dry sort of environment. It's also a good place for spotting Cory bustards. Small herds of sesame were pretty common. There are also rowan and sable, but in far fewer numbers. The sesame is the Botswana equivalent to the East African topi. Because the Savuti channel ceased flowing in around 2015, in order to keep some of the animals in the area, they maintain some artificially drilled waterholes. Otherwise there's very little surface water for them to drink. It is a very, very dry area. The rainy season's from around late November to April. It's a real shame, as of 2021, April time, the current government have reinstated trophy hunting of elephants, on the grounds that there's too many and that the population is expanding, which is dubious to say the least, because it's been stable for several years. Elephants do, however, seem to be moving into areas where they've not seen for many, many years. Possibly because up till now they've felt safer in Botswana than neighbouring Namibia, Angola and Zimbabwe, where they are still hunted. Human-wildlife conflict is said to be the problem, which I agree it probably is, but that doesn't justify only hunting the bulls with the biggest tusks. I seriously doubt whether trophy hunting will actually do anything to alleviate the problem. It's just an excuse for people to make money.
Blue birds on the path to your left. Right down on the floor. Down there.
And they're sleeping all day. What about the poor puma?
Lots of herds of blue wildebeest out in the open areas. And lots of ostriches.
Yeah, it just works on Bluetooth, so...
Oh, okay. I was wondering how you did it.
No leopards today.
These bad boys are pretty impressive, especially when they stare straight at you. Savuti is famed for its big cats and wild dogs. Supposedly it's one of the best places in Africa to see them. We did see lions, leopards, cheetahs and wild dogs. As the heat of the day drops off, they set out on an evening stroll around their estate.
Not bad.
I say, bugger it, they're on my side. Man in the setting sun. Oh,
You know how he's making his territory.
Yeah, go find it.
So at about 6 AM the next morning, the guide came running down to our tent, woke us up, saying, "Get yourselves to the car park quick, as a pack of wild dogs have made a kill." So as quick as we could, we dashed down there, and sure enough, they'd killed an impala. They were busily tearing great lumps of meat off the impala and eating it as fast as they could. They seemed pretty nervous,
An impala.
and the guide thought it was because there were lions in the area. We stood and watched them from about 30 metres away as the light slowly improved, all the time making it easier for photography. They didn't seem to care about us whatsoever. After a few short minutes though, they decided enough was enough and headed off into the bush. When we finally went over to inspect the kill, we were amazed at how little of it was actually left, and that disappeared overnight due to the hyenas. Giraffes are obviously well adapted to the area, as we saw loads of small herds. I have to say, Savuti was the place for leopard sightings. The thing that spoiled it though was the number of other cars, and it was the way that they hounded the leopards, even going off-road, which isn't allowed. It did kind of encourage me to want to leave the sightings early. The number of other cars also kind of ruined the out in the bush atmosphere for me. Perhaps I'm being selfish because they have as much right as me to see the animals, but it's when you get all the talking and laughing, radio chatter, shouting between cars, etc. I think it's uncalled for. Quite the closest we've got, isn't
Too
it?
close?
No, roughly.
There were also plenty of lion prides about, taking it easy as the day started to warm up. From around 10 AM, the temperature soared to the upper 30s centigrade. Again, it did get a bit silly around the cats, even though they were doing absolutely nothing. You went to some towns and you wouldn't have this. You wouldn't? No, you'd have it to yourself.
Can you see how big that wound is, Chris? On the line on the right, on the back flank.
There's a small herd of sesame out on the flat plain, although there is one wildebeest with them. This whole area is very flat, apart from one or two rocky outcrops that form low hills you can see in the background. We are in the Kalahari Basin, not very far north of the desert proper. Rule number one, as I was told, you do not hang out of the car in front of lions. Really pleased to see Bradfield's hornbill, endemic to the area. If you look carefully in the waterhole, you can see a lump to the left of the tree at the back. That's actually a hippo. He got stuck here when the Savuti channel dried up. He was the only one in the area. So how can anyone take pleasure in killing these peaceful giants who just want to be left alone?
He's the coach.
Yeah. Okay, 2 more laps.
Yeah, it's just kind of like horsing around.
Look at that face. Oh, so strong.
Yeah, the light is good.
Oh, it is good, it really is.
Very good.
Wow.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
The greater kudu is the most majestic of the antelopes, with its lovely 2-metre long spiral horns. We went out onto the Savuti marsh to find the cheetahs. Although they call it a marsh, it was actually very, very dry, just like a grassy field. So the Savuti marsh is a place where the channel used to drain into, and it was a lot wetter. But now it only turns kind of marshy in the rainy season, and by this time of year it's all dried up. Hence a lot of animals have left, like the zebras have gone. We saw some of the last few buffalo. They migrate northwards towards the Chobe River, and they'll be back after the rains, after it all starts to green up again. At least this time the cars made some effort to give the cheetah some space and didn't get too close and didn't completely surround them. They were trying to hunt. There was a herd of Savuti in the distance that they were eyeing up.
Hey, how's it, Mackenzie? What am I seeing, my
The guides still haven't learned the knack of keeping quiet though.
Nigga, bata tama mata ko ngole tsa tsamelo. Mmele ga le gompieno a siai. Ba ha mara go ba le ba tsamaya kgale. Ba bana bonetse. Au. Ama, re go tlogetse kwa bilo a goro.
He's darker than the other ones, isn't he?
Yeah, it's much fun.
When we saw them in... At least the leopard doesn't seem too fazed by all the cars around him. I guess he gets it all the time.
Maybe sometimes I feel bad.
The lonely hippo again.
You can't even hear him calling at night. So, no, you can't. He's gonna roll out. Okay.
You okay? I'm looking for this down the bush. Yeah, it's coming this way. They'll probably put one on there. Yeah, they'll probably will. It's a shock.
And the Mainy, wow. Every 2 years they get a twist.
We were definitely spoiled for leopards in Savuti. Really more good sightings than I've ever seen anywhere else. If you're interested in cats, it probably is the place to go. But be aware, there's a lot of other traffic. A lot of noise because they tend to overpack their cars. They fill them with 9 or 10 people. And the guides don't seem to have a great idea of safety. For instance, people standing up, moving around in cars parked right in front of lanes. Just not a good idea. I was really pleased to see this yellow mongoose. You don't get them in East Africa.
Most of the eagles makes me remember the magnet.
Yeah, that's a cool one.
And finally, a very quick shot of a honey badger before he disappears.
Oh, you pretty